If you grew up in an African family, you discover that almost every morning there are house chores to do, especially when the mom is around. Hey everyone, welcome back to Showers of Ìbùkún podcast. Are you new here? This is Showers of Ìbùkún, where the goal is for you to be at peace every day and in every way. And if you're coming back, thank you so much. How have the previous episodes been? I hope you find them very helpful. Do let me know in the comments. And if you've not seen them, you should go to watch them because there are lots of values waiting for you there. By the way, how have you been? How have your previous weeks been? How is your work, your business, school, family? I hope you're not succumbing to pressure. I hope you're not stressed out. If you're stressed out, please catch some breath. That is why Showers of Ìbùkún is here, so that you can live every day peacefully, so that you can bloom steadily, right? And today we are going to be topping up on that again. So let's get right into what we have today. So if you grew up in an African family, you discover that almost every morning there are house chores to do, especially when the mom is around. She'll probably be digging up some house chores for you to do, whether to clean the store or to sweep the floor, to mop, to wash the plates, to arrange some things that does not maybe need arrangements. But anyway, you know how it is, and you know these things are not enjoyable. No, personally, I don't like the sweeping and mopping. My mom usually would combine, but she would say you sweep and mop, and I don't like it. I just waste time there. But now I don't have a choice because I have to keep my environment clean, right? So fast forward to when I started working. By the way, I'm a lawyer, so, and part of my practice has to do with litigation. And so, you know, in litigation, there's almost like no end to filing of court processes. The other party files something, you have to respond, and it keeps going back and forth like an endless battle. So I remember that when I started work, processes would come in, and some of them would land on my desk, like, Ìbùkún, draft our response to this, draft that. And every time it comes, I'm like, oh my god, please no. But what am I saying? No, it's not on my job. It's not something I'm supposed to do. But I just feel intimidated or overwhelmed already. I'm like, why? Why? Stop filing stuff. But they don't end. And I'm like, you know what? Sooner or later, you have to get used to this. You have to brace up. You have to brace up. Now, another example is there was a day I was actually in the courtroom, and I was walking along the aisle, and I saw a lady coming. I think she's a staff of that court, and it seemed as if somebody called her. I don't know who it was, but it seemed to be her superior. And as she heard her name, she ran back into somebody's office. So I don't know, but I was guessing that maybe she knew that call was work, and then she just wanted to escape from it. So, and you see that oftentimes when we hear the word work, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? Sometimes it feels like intimidating, it feels stressful, you already feel overwhelmed before even starting the work. You hear work and you're like, no, where do I start from? Right? So today I'll be sharing with you some steps that I take to help me not be intimidated by work. So work shouldn't intimidate you. Don't worry, it's work. It's work, and that is all it is. You can't be intimidated. So I'm going to be sharing these steps with you because they work for me, and I hope they work for you as well. Now, the first thing is that I see work as an opportunity to use my skill to achieve success. Right. So I was checking up the meaning of the word work, and I saw some definitions. Now, one of the definitions I saw is that it has to do with exerting yourself mentally or physically to achieve for a purpose, exerting yourself mentally or physically, especially with a sustained effort to achieve something or for a purpose. Now, I found that there's another definition that says achieving a desired result or a desired effect, which is success, that is, to succeed. So I'm like, which of these lenses do I want to view work from? And I chose the second because now that doesn't mean I'm not going to exert effort or energy into something. I mean, for you to achieve success, you have to put in the work. But I'm not going to focus on the part of exerting myself because that might make me already feel stressed. So I focus on the end goal that, okay, the goal is to succeed. So I see it as an opportunity. Whenever work comes, now I see it as, okay, this is a challenge for me to use my skill. Like, there's something that needs to be achieved. So I can do this thing. I have the skill. So yeah, so use your skill. So I tell myself, then use this to achieve this success. And that is one way that it has helped me not to be intimidated by work. So if you see work as an opportunity to use your skill, that thing you're good at, you're like, oh, this is a chance for me to use the skill that I have to get better. And if you remember the previous episode, we're talking about using your skill profitably. So that is one way to see it, so that you can use your skill profitably. Now, the second step that I take is that when work comes and I feel overwhelmed or stressed out or intimidated, I look at it, I said, what is this? I write it down. I go to write it down. I'm like, what is this that is stressing me? So I take my pen, I prefer to write on paper. So I write it down so that I can see that, oh, okay, so this is what I have to get done. Then that leads to the third step, which is I then write out what I need to do to get that work done. So when it's stressing me out, I'm like, I don't want to get stressed, because when I've not gotten the work done, I'm not able to focus on other things. Maybe I'm among people and we are gisting. I'm not able to even gist with my full chest because I know that there's a work somewhere that I need to do. I'm not even able to sleep well because I know that there's work to be done, and sometimes this work even show up in my sleep. Yes, maybe you can relate with that. And then, I wake up feeling tired again. I'm like, no, I don't want this for myself. So I write, what do I need to do? Then I allocate time to it. Maybe, okay, I need to research something. I need to check a case. I need to speak to a senior colleague or something. I write them down and I put a time to it. So maybe I say, okay, all of these things in 3 hours, I should be done. Then I put my mind on that, the end of that 3 hours. So let's say I'm writing that by 9. I know that by 12, so I'm thinking that by 12 I'm done. By 12 this is off my desk already. So I'm like, no, I'll be chilling by 12 o'clock. So I put my mind on that, and that helps me. So it could help you too. Now another, I think I've mentioned about 3 or 4 already. So maybe let me add this one thing that this may sound funny, but actually it helps me. So maybe it can work for you too. When I'm writing down the work that I have to do, I write in small letters. Yes. So for example, instead of writing, maybe I say, okay, draft a written address in so. Normally I would write the written address with a capital W and a capital A. So instead I write written address with a small W and a small A. And that makes it look like, oh, this is just one of the work that you can do. This is just one of the things that you have to do today. So it doesn't seem like a big deal on my to do. And all of these things doesn't just have to do with your job. It could be schoolwork. It could be your business. Maybe you have to go and see some clients, or you have to speak to some customers, or you need to put up content like what we're doing now. Maybe you need to draft content, or you need to shoot something, or you have projects in school or test or whatever, and it just feels like a big deal. No, don't worry. It's not a big deal. It's something that you can do. I remember when I was still in the university, my final year project seemed like a big mountain in front of me. And I just think of it that, look at it now. I did it. And now what I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of work, another thing to do that seems like a big deal. But you could even be in the house. You know that there's one store in your house that needs to be arranged, or there's one freezer that needs to be cleaned, and you've just been pushing it forward like, well, I'll do it later because it's already stressing you out. Look, these things can work for you. Just see it as one of the things that you can achieve. See it as one of the things that you can do. And it's just a test of your skill. Like, I have the skill now. Let's do this. Let's do this. No pressure. You can get that work done. Don't be intimidated. Don't worry. That work, you get it done. And in the next, say, 2, 3, 5 hours, you're done. The goal is don't get intimidated, please. I don't want you getting intimidated by any work, because you have what it takes to get that work done. So this is where we wrap it up today on Showers of Ìbùkún podcast. I hope you've learned a lot, and I hope you're going to make use of these tips. So don't forget to share with other people, because everybody deserves to live peacefully without pressure, right? So share with other people, and don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and keep your notification button on so that you can get notified as Showers of Ìbùkún drops episodes back to back for you. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.